When Republicans get mad, they hit the maximum route. They don't go, yeah, I think hopefully our Democratic colleagues will be able to coalesce and come to terms with us on this issue. They say they're all pedophile vampires that must be killed potentially. And if not killed, then, we will hang them for treason. Asked if he supports Congress using his power to hold Trump accountable for Venezuela, Chuck Schumer replies, let's first get the facts. Hell yeah. Yeah, we're not going to do anything, okay? No one's going to do anything. And for the record, for the rest of the globe watching, for the people from around the world tuning in right now to see how, Americans are doing on this stuff. The reason why you hear a lot of Americans say like, oh man, why won't China do anything? Oh man, why won't Europe say anything? It's because we have nothing, okay? We know that we can't do anything about it. The American government is going to do whatever the fuck it wants. Donald Trump is going to continue with this kind of attitude everywhere around the world, and he's going to also bring this exact same narcissism and lack of restraint to its domestic affairs as well, as it has already. And Americans are going to do the surprise Pikachu face at some point when he basically treats the American population like the Venezuelan population, and we will go, wait a minute, what? Wait, but hold on, sir. That's illegal. What do you mean you're not going to have another election? What? And he'll turn around and say, nope, I'm dominating America. What are you going to fucking do about it? Suck my dick. And everyone will go, wait a minute, that's illegal. But we have rights. And in the absence of any sort of serious organizing that could potentially shut off the entire American economy, in the absence of organized labor, recognizing that, we have nobody else to push back against this government because the Democrats are not going to save us. And in the absence of any sort of like serious labor militancy, nothing's going to change. And we'll just go, but there's a democracy here.
The government is running out of money at the end of the month. There are a number of other ways that, along with the War Powers Act, would you consider at all using government funding as a way to leverage when it comes to Venezuela, or what other mechanisms or tools can you use to hold the administration accountable?
Yeah, well, you're absolutely wrong about them saying, wait a minute, but that's illegal. Wait, what are they going to say instead?
The government shutdown.
The 30-day, January 30th is days away. Let's first get all the facts out. That's what we're endeavoring to do right now. And our first...
Americans are a monolith. Got it. Why won't Americans do something? Do something, Americans. Americans are a monolith. Got it. Americans have nothing. Okay? We have nothing. We know nothing. We're too busy fucking trying to make ends meet. And in the brief amount of time that we have to ourselves, we just fucking poison our brains with unlimited pornography and gambling, maybe a little bit of alcohol if we have time. And then also watching slop tubers on YouTube, or, watching a Netflix show, or going on TikTok. So there is no organizing happening here in the United States of America. And no, I didn't forget cocaine. We will not have cocaine any longer. Donald Trump just took down the #1 cocaine kingpin, Nicolas Maduro. So that's it. That's the reason why a lot of people go, oh man, why can't anybody else do something? It's because we can't do anything.
Ability to do that will be the War Powers Act of this week. And again, we are saying to the Republicans, this is your responsibility. President Trump is a member of your party. You've gone along with him over and over again. And this is one time you've got to resist him. It's too serious.
The government is...
From the same interview.
Do you think that the Trump administration took this action now, just before Congress comes back, because the War Powers Resolution vote was coming up? Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. I couldn't answer that. I don't know what makes them do what they do.
Do you think that the Trump administration took this action now,
Just say yes, brother. You're the fucking leader of the Senate Democrats. Like, what do you mean? He is just worse than shit.
These officials accountable.
I asked about the possibility of impeachment. Schumer says, we hope that we can get the support from our Republican colleagues to put a break on this long before it gets that far. Look, when Republicans get mad at Democrats over minutia, and never something as severe as what Trump has done on his best day, right? Not even yesterday. I mean, like, Trump on a random Tuesday is doing 8 impeachable offenses before it's like 1 p.m. Okay. Democrats never even entertain doing something as bold as Trump does on his best day. And yet, when Republicans get mad, they hit the maximum route. They don't go, yeah, I think hopefully our Democratic colleagues will be able to coalesce and come to terms with us on this issue. They say they're all pedophile vampires that must be killed potentially. And if not killed, then, we will hang them for treason. Like, what is this shit? Where they asked Chuck Schumer, the fucking leader of the Democrats in the Senate, what is the possibility of impeachment? And you don't just give a firm commitment? If this is not an impeachable offense, what is? Right? And I know it's because he actually likes what Trump is doing, just like he was in favor of intervention in Iraq, and just as he is in favor of intervention here as well. He just can't like openly say it. So he's just doing this like wishy-washy bullshit. But your job as the leader of the opposition in the Senate is to at least project some power.
What does that look like, and what are the options you guys would have this year, and then obviously looking forward to the next Congress when Democrats might have a majority to hold folks accountable for taking this kind of action? Is that something that could rise to impeachment, or what other options are available to you guys?
Yeah. Tyler, I just say it's premature to guess that far into the future. We hope that, as I said...
Don't you think an impeachment would mean a successful January 6th? What do you think would happen then? Oh my God. Another January 6th? Maybe this time the Democrats will actually prosecute the people who did it and put them in jail, and not just like the random pedophiles who participated in it as foot soldiers, but instead the actual political figures that made it happen. Like a Lula-style situation, maybe.
We hope that we can have support from our Republican colleagues to put a break on this long before it gets...
I know China's soft power is impressive, but moments like this remind you of the importance of hard power. In 2025, China can't even control an island that is theirs 100 miles off their coast. The USSR was able to uphold Cuba throughout the Cold War, an island 100 miles off the U.S. coast. True. But I think the reason why China is where it's at right now is because it didn't do that stuff. So I go back and forth on this actual truth. Yeah, that is a truth nuke. That is a truth nuke. A truke. But then you remember China is still here and the USSR is not. And that's the reverse truke. Okay? That's the reverse truke. Both imperialism. Yes, security agreements with a existing socialist country that is slammed into the ass cheeks of the largest imperial superpower that is capitalist, that has actually implemented ridiculous blockades in perpetuity since the successful Cuban Revolution. Like any sort of aid is actually imperialism. I know you are the most woke and the most moral leftist out there. Yes, true leftism has not been tried. China is capitalist. Got it. Okay. Capital exists in China. China's Navy is way more powerful than the USSR and Cuban Missile Crisis. It's not power, it's will to use it. America's Navy, in comparison to what it looked like back in the Cuban Missile Crisis, is also very different, I think. Because remember, the Cuban Missile Crisis only happened because America brought Turkey into NATO and then put missile bases directed or missile bases in the direction of Russia, the USSR. Keep it up, bro. You're doing a shit job. You know, much like people don't have any other options other than China, you don't really have any other options other than me either. Okay? You either get this, a tired Hasan, 8 hours in, or you get, yeah, base, this is awesome. And also, you know, we should dominate every non-white and non-Christian country out there. So, you know, have fun, I guess.
That far. This is unprecedented as to what he has done and the way he has done it, and the secrecy in which he has engaged in it. And we're going to do everything we can to hold them accountable. And
Good point.
to,
Goodbye forever.
Restrain the kinds of bad efforts that seem to be happening right now and could get worse.